In Southeast Asia, the Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve in Malaysia is often cited as one of the best managed mangrove ecosystems. With a sustainable harvesting model in place for over a century, Matang is a beacon for how conservation and economic interests can coexist. The mangrove trees here are sustainably cut for charcoal, while wildlife, including otters and migratory birds, flourish in its waterways. Matang's successful model has become a case study for other regions aiming to balance human needs with environmental health.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Fairuzniza binti JAMAL. Today, I will be presenting the introduction and method of ecosystem-based management for our chosen site, which is the Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve, Perak, Malaysia. Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve is located along the west coast of Perak and was established in 1906. It is one of the oldest and best managed mangrove forests in the world. The ecosystem found here is mangrove ecosystem, which is a type of coastal wetland ecosystem. Mangrove grow in areas that are influenced by tide and salt water. This ecosystem is very important because it protects the coastline from erosion, act as nursery area for fish and marine organisms, store large amount of carbon, support local livelihoods such as fishing and cocoa production. Because of this important function, Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve is a good example of site that practice ecosystem-based management where both environmental protection and human activity are considered together.
For types of biodiversity in Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve, it can be divided into two, which is plants and animals. The dominant mangrove tree species in Matang is Rhizophora apiculata. This species is extensively planted because it is well adapted to tidal condition. Other plant species include nipa palm and mangrove fern, which grow along riverbanks and in the understory. Matang mangrove also support diverse aquatic species, especially fish and shellfish, which depend on mangrove as nursery and breeding areas. Various terrestrial animals such as birds, monkeys, and wild boars can also be found, particularly in areas closer to inland forests.
Hello, my name is BATRISYIA, binti AZAHARY. Now, let's talk about why ecosystem management and conservation are so important. First, ecosystem act as a natural shields. Coastal ecosystem like mangrove and coral reef protect shorelines from erosions, strong storms, and tidal surge. Without them, coastal communities would be much more vulnerable to natural disaster. Next, ecosystem management helps maintain biodiversity and ecological balance. When we protect habitats, we allow plants and animals to survive, reproduce, and continue their roles in the food webs. This stability is essential for healthy ecosystem. It also supports local livelihood. Many communities depend on fisheries, forest products, and even charcoal productions for income. Proper management ensures that these resources are not overexploited and can be continued to support people in the long term. Another important role it is in climate change mitigations. Ecosystems such as forests and wetlands act as a carbon sink. They absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and helping to reduce the impact of global warming. Finally, ecosystem conservation ensures that the sustainability use of natural resources for future generation. It helps balance environmental protections with human needs so development can happen without destroying nature. So, in short, managing ecosystem is not about just being protecting nature. It's about protecting our own future.
Now, I will explain the methods used for ecosystem-based management in Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve. The first method is zoning management. The forest is divided into different zones such as harvesting zone and protected zone. These help control human activity and ensure that sensitive areas are conserved. The second method is rotational and selective harvesting. Only mature mangrove trees are cut, while younger trees are left to grow. Harvesting is done in cycle, allowing the forest to regenerate naturally. This prevents overexploitation and maintain forest structure. The third method is continuous monitoring and research. Scientists and forest managers regularly monitor tree growth, biodiversity, and environmental conditions such as water quality and soil salinity. The data collected is used to improve the management decision. Another important method is community involvement. Local communities are involved in forest activity and conservation programs. This encourages responsibility and help balance economic benefit with ecosystem protection. Overall, these methods that show ecosystem-based management in Matang focus on long-term sustainability, ecological balance, and human well-being.
Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve still faces several challenges. The first one is environmental threats. Second one is human pressure, and the third one is the management and information gaps. One major environmental threat is climate change, which causes sea level rise and higher temperatures. These changes can affect mangrove growth and survival. For example, if the sea level rises too fast, the mangrove may not be able to adapt and water can flood nearby homes. Another issue is sedimentation, where excessive mud accumulates in mangrove channels, affecting the water flow and boat access. Although mangroves are productive, the soil is often low in nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus, which can limit the plant growth. Next is human pressure from pollution and building. As you can see in my background, the chemicals from nearby factories, waste from fish farms, and even household trash are dumped into the ecosystem. Mangrove acts like a natural filter and trap heavy metals like lead and copper. However, long-term accumulation can be harmful to plants and aquatic organisms. In addition, as people build more settlements, industrial projects, and aquaculture like fish and shrimp farms, they take up space that the mangrove forest needs to thrive. Therefore, it can lead to loss of mangrove habitat if not properly controlled. Although Matang is well managed, there are still management challenges. The first issue is the lack of long-term monitoring data, which is important for understanding ecosystem changes over time. Sometimes, management decisions are made based on fragmented evidence or incomplete information. Without consistent monitoring of tree growth and fish numbers, it is hard to know if the management plan is actually working. Another one issue is the economic shocks. Unexpected events like COVID-19 pandemic can disrupt the management system, causing prices for wood and seafood skyrocket and making it harder for locals to earn a living.
To conclude, the Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve is a strong example of a successfully ecosystem-based management. It shows how proper planning, monitoring, and policy implementations can protect natural ecosystem while still allowing humans' activities to benefit from natural resources. This case study clearly demonstrates that conservation and sustainable use do not have to compete with each other, but instead can work together to create a long-term environmental and economic benefit. Finally, the Matang Mangrove Forest Reserve provides a valuable global example for mangrove conservation. Its management model can be adapted and applied in other coastal regions facing a similar environmental challenges. Overall, this case study emphasizes that sustainable ecosystem management is not only achievable, but essential for protecting biodiversity, supporting communities, and ensuring environmental resilience in the future. That's all for me. Thank you.
That's all from us. Thank you for watching.